Brad, big time college football game today, man.
One of the greatest. One of the probably top five in of rivalries.
And when you played Division I at Iowa, you know what it's all about. Your rivalry game. This one's a little bit different because these guys, after this game is played, they're going to be fighting on the same team.
Same
right?
team and
Right?
put in harm's way. Yeah, they're
Right.
the same team.
I mean, after they get commissioned, it's for keeps.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. And they're so competitive, and if you've ever been to a game, it's the stadium is divided amongst the cadets,
it's great.
and it's amazing. And then the president will go sit on one side, and then the other side.
Well, President Biden is not going to be.
He's not going to.
He's not going to be there today. I think he should be, but he's not.
Well, that don't surprise me.
Yeah, but anyway, my first guest today, or my next guest, this is a great story. Talk about inspirational story. Talk about a story of a local kid that made it big. I have him on every year because he's talk about overcoming adversity and beating the odds. But the fact that the fact that he is a local kid that played in this game is pretty cool.
It is special, and just by you saying that, I got chills.
Yeah,
cool.
So
it's an exciting time, and I can't wait to listen to him and talk to him.
So let's go to the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline, and welcome into the locker room from Absegami High School all the way to Annapolis, where he played He was number 10 for the Navy. Let's welcome into the locker room, Mike Herron. What's up, Mike?
Michael, how are you?
Hey, guys. Good. Nice to meet you, Brad.
Nice to meet you.
Billy, thanks for having me on again. What an exciting day it is. You guys are spot on with the program here, and it's a whole family affair here, guys. I mean, the Army and Navy game, and even give credit to the other services for sure, Coast Guard and the Air Force. They basically have families that back them and coaches that back them, and the families bring the humor and the support, which is not only for football, it's huge, but it's for life and supporting those in harm's way. So I'm really grateful for my family, and I'm grateful for our coaches from EHT Orioles, brother.
Yeah, man.
Breeze.
And Mike, thank you for serving and keeping us safe. Thank you.
I'm grateful. I had a wonderful time in the military, in the Marine Corps, and I got a chance to be an aviator, one of my goals. And I got a chance to get on the Navy football field to be a player. So I'm really grateful to be here and to have that story to share with whomever's watching out there. Because I should say, there's a lot of adversity that everybody faces in life, and it starts with being a kid and being supported by your parents and your coaches. But it's also you got to face it yourself too. You got to have some grit, and that helps you get jobs. It helps you be successful in life. So. What do you got for me, guys?
Well,
you excited or what?
We're pumped up, and let me tell Brad. So Mike Herron was on the Ocean City Beach Patrol. I've known Mike for a long, long time, and every time we come around every time this year, I say, I got to get Mike Herron on because his story is such an inspiration, and talk about overcoming adversity, intestinal fortitude, all those key ingredients that you need. He was recruited by Army in Princeton, but wanted to play for Navy. And Mike, tell us your story again, because it's worth repeating. You were told no how many times before, and you just never gave up.
Well, yeah, the head coach, Navy football head coach, Gary Tranquil, I knocked on his door, set an appointment with his secretary. She offered me the opportunity to get into the office each time. And there must have been something there. But honestly, I was shooting after playing lightweight football, which is 158 pounds every Wednesday. I dropped from 195 down to 158 because I got cut when I basically just didn't make the tryouts, for plebes, because I already lost 20 pounds. I'm like, who wants a linebacker that's 175 pounds in Division I football? So
not many people. Not many people.
No. So I actually got a chance to play in the same huddle as my brother John, who was an all-league 150-pound or sprint football league, they call it now. And he was a center for the offensive line, and I was a starting fullback, which is rare for a plebe to be on the football field, let alone a starter. So I was really grateful to block with him and to run the ball a few times. But as soon as that season was over, my brother and I were in cahoots. He said, Mike, you're not allowed to leave this table. And he was an upper class, so I had to listen to him. He said, you're not allowed to leave this table until you eat those 2 steaks and those 3 potatoes and finish up. And his point was, hey, we're here to help me to get on the Navy football team and to be on the heavyweight team. And that was my goal. And I knew that I'd be on the field junior year. And it turned, and as a special teams guy, and I had a hopeful feeling that I'd be a starter as a senior. And it turned out that, like Billy was saying, with the just determination and the 3 appointments with Coach Tranquil, I basically kept knocking on his door. But I was also training during the winter time with the heavyweight football team, and each time I showed up for practice, which was calisthenics and weightlifting, they couldn't they couldn't take me out of that practice. I was able to stay in those calisthenics. And Coach Belichick was yelling at me, and yelling at everybody else. It was Steve Belichick, not Bill. It was Bill's father, Steve. And he was yelling, pick up your knees. You look like my grandmother. And so, after a couple of practices like that, I realized he wasn't talking to me anymore because I was athletic, just as athletic as anybody in that room. So I wound up visiting the coach a second time and a third time. The third time he said no again. He said, I got 100 guys to look at, and I got a spring football game coming up, and everybody's got to play. So I can't look at you. I said, Coach, you don't understand. I've been to every one of your agility drills with Coach Belichick. I've been to every one of your weightlifting sessions with your strength conditioning coach, Joe Moschetti. I said, I'm coming after your team.
Can't
I said, there's not one recruited guy that can say the same thing. I'm coming after your team. And he said, okay. And then I got the last pair of spikes that were my size. I got the last helmet. It was a little bit.
The helmet was too big. The spikes were too tight.
No spikes. No spikes.
All right, but then, but then,
it was funny.
What really, I guess, got the coaches looking at you. There was a running back by the name of Napoleon McCallum.
I heard of
and what happened there?
So Knapp was, doing his thing, and Coach Tranquil was right there in that drill, and I happened to be a scrub, which they call the guys that are just blocking dummies. I never thought of myself as that, though, because I said, hey, I'm from Assagami Braves. I'm from EHT Orioles. We're not blocking dummies. When we practice hard, and we hit hard from South Jersey. So I said, I'm going to hit as best I can every play in practice, and eventually I'll play. So sure enough, Nat McCallum comes off tackle, and it was a butt-up drill, which means, you don't tackle him. You don't bring him down. So I hit him, and I jacked him up, and I hit him low and just drove high, and he was on his tippy toes, and head coach yelled at me, grabbed my face mask. What are you doing? I said, Coach, I just butt him up. And I ran back to the huddle. I didn't ask any more questions. I just went back to the huddle. And as I was walking off the field and every sprint at the end of practice, I wanted to show the coaches that I had determination and I was going to basically do my best to win every sprint. And I did. I won or tied every sprint at the end of practice, which is really hard.
Yes.
That's Brad. Brad played for Iowa, Mike. So when the coach grabs your face mask, what are you doing?
Yep.
And this Mike's doing everything he can to get attention, and he's doing all the drills, competing there. Been told a million times no, and he's still plugging away.
Yeah, and I think, Mike, that's what I mean, to come from that, and then it's to go through life, and then the valuable lessons you've learned, and if you have kids, to share with them and work through things and
perseverance.
And kind of just go through it. You're gonna get your head kicked
Mike
in.
Mike Herron's story is the Rudy.
It's
the Rudy story.
It's a Rudy story.
Mike, they need to make a movie of you, man.
It's exciting, and I think the younger generation has to see that.
Yes,
and because so often we give up too quick.
Hey, Mike, Brad and I, we had the pleasure. Brad was invited by Coach Vermeil, the NFL Players Association. We got an opportunity to go to the screening of American Underdog.
The Kurt Warner story.
The Kurt Warner
awesome.
story was unbelievable.
Same thing.
I'm telling you, you got a movie waiting to be produced.
I'll be your producer. I'll be your producer.
Well, it's nice to just make a connection, because if you make a movie or a book or whatever, it's got to have a purpose, and it's got to be like an audience that wants to get something away, get a takeaway from it. So if that's the goal, then I'm for it. Just to help people.
Hey, Mike, I got a question for you. In high school, Apsaganni, how'd you do against the prep, the Hermits?
We never played the prep.
You didn't play
Actually,
prep?
they always did.
Okay. Yeah, because my
We
my
did.
boys went to the prep, and they got a pretty good
Oh.
pretty good sports teams and good football team down there.
We're talking with Mike Herron,
that's awesome.
Absegami High School, went on to play for the Naval Academy. Mike, talk to us a little bit about what it means to be a part of this brotherhood of the Army-Navy game. I mean, you guys obviously on one day of the year, you guys want to beat each other's brains out, but after the game's over, you guys are like brothers, man.
Yeah, we cross paths a lot, and it definitely helps to have this experience. And we definitely lock arms, and we encourage each other. We encourage each other's families. One of the biggest programs that I think tells the biggest story is when somebody loses a life, or somebody loses a limb, or is injured in traumatic brain injury or something. Then the family is there for them, and that's like, for example, the biggest foundation that I've seen that does this greatest support is the Travis Manion Foundation, where Travis lost his life as a first lieutenant in the Marine Corps, and parents, are devastated. So what do? Well, the Travis Manion Foundation comes and helps them to support them and to grieve with them, and also to say, hey, let's get up and do something together to help other people that are facing the same thing, because you know what it feels like. So they will climb mountains together. They will build houses together with Habitat for Humanity. They will do things that are well beyond themselves. And once again, that keeps that spirit alive, because the opposite can also, if you stay the same in life, whether it be your physical fitness, your moral health, your mental health, if you stay the same, you're not getting better. You're getting worse. So you got to continually improve, even when you face loss. And that's what the Travis Manion Foundation is all about. It's all services, and that's the best representation of the joint effort that we're in this program. And that's what is symbolic at the end of the game. Yeah, when we sing each other's, sing
Alma mater.
That's
Navy
special.
hymn and the alma
Yeah,
mater.
that's right. Yeah, brings tears. Yeah, brings tears to me. Yeah,
absolutely.
it's unbelievable.
Hey,
what was your record when your period when you're there at school? What was the? How did you guys do?
At Navy, we were very much like the team on the field today. The Navy football team had a lot of injuries our year, and you can make all kinds of excuses for that. But hey, we had some highlights, I would say, and that's what we're hoping for today. We were 4-7, 3-8, but you know what?
It doesn't matter, because at the end of
that was critical.
Right,
And
at the end of the year, it doesn't matter what your record, as long as you beat Army or if
that's
you're
all that
Navy.
matters. You circle that game.
Hey, Mike, though, something really big happened this week, man. The West Point cadets stole the goat, man. Did you see that?
Yeah, they probably found that
they do
it was
every
a
year,
fake
right?
goat. It wasn't our real goat.
That's not what I heard.
It was Dash 2.
So it wasn't the original. It's not the original goat that they stole. Because you guys,
no, I'm just throwing out some news.
Don't you guys do practical jokes?
We do, yeah. There was actually one time there was a 1,000-pound submarine model that was in one of the nuclear engineering teachers' office, and the plebes wound up going in there in a recon mission, like within our own world, and they took his the submarine. Actually, it was in the yard, and they took it onto his desk and put it on his desk. So that was pretty inconvenient for him that day. Yeah, there's a lot of pranks that go on during Army Navy Week. I mean, it's just part of the story. It's part of the fun.
We're talking with Mike Herron, Absegami High School. He went on to play for Navy. Today's a big game, the 122nd meeting of this storied rivalry. It dates back to 1890.
Crazy.
And to play in such a game like that.
All the famous people and the presidents that went to the game, and the Heisman Trophy winners.
Yeah, well, we got an interview with Pete Dawkins coming up after we speak with you. Mike, did any presidents ever come into your locker room when you were playing for Navy?
We did not have the president. No, we had Roger Staubach came in, our hero, over the years. One of the best players ever for Navy, Roger the Dodger. And he was good, actually, not only on the field, but he was good at the obstacle courses, of course. He has the record for the Naval Academy obstacle course at Annapolis. So it's kind of cool.
Wow, he's that great of an athlete. I did hear that. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. And when I was a junior, he came into the locker room and he gave us a pep talk, and I was on the special teams, on every one of the special teams, which was cool for me. I loved it. And he just totally focused on the special teams. He said, you guys can make or break the game. And I realized, hey, when I was we beat a team just like today could happen when Army's favored. They're 8-3. They're looking good. I love watching them. They're a great team, great coaching staff. But when you look at the opportunities that come out when you have a situation like that looks imbalanced, and you have a 3-8 team, we were 3-8 Navy, and we were playing against the second number 2 team in the country, South Carolina. And I look back at that film, which I don't normally do, and I said, "Holy cow! I got a solo tackle against South Carolina. They were number 2 in the nation, and we beat them." So if you don't make that tackle, that guy could run for a touchdown because he did a number of times during the season. So, yeah, every play counts. Every play matters, and that's the way I treated practice, and that's the way I treated, the games. And so that's the story about, our season was wonderful to be there. Really, it was a great experience.
And today, Army has an opportunity to win the Commander-in-Chief trophy, which means they beat Air Force.
Yep.
So if they beat Navy today,
they got all the trophies.
They'll get
so
that big trophy.
they're going to be fighting extra hard, in that locker room when they come out. It's real important to
That's
this
right.
game. So
they're not going to be slouches. You're right. They're going to be ready to go. They're going to be fired up. You know what's going to be telling, and Brad, you can appreciate this, when they get every snap. It's an interesting thing to watch this game and to see very few passes. Now there could be many surprises today, but when you watch that snap and watch how low those linemen are, that becomes the nuance of watching this game, because those linemen are fighting, and I respect the linemen so much that I'm going to be with one of my linemen from high school today, Danny Clayton, and his wife Cassie. We're going to watch the game together. But every lineman that I always respect and appreciate what they do, because they're smacking somebody in the face every day.
Literally fighting in the trenches.
Every play,
Yep.
And if they don't get lower and stronger and faster, then they're gonna get beat. So I'm grateful for our linemen.
Well, listen, Mike.
That's what the game's going to be like today.
Mike, we really appreciate you taking time to share your story. It's such an inspiration, and we look forward to the Army-Navy game each and every year, and we love having you on.
Thanks a lot, Billy,
Thanks,
and have a great one, and enjoy the game today. Brad, good to chat with you today, and all the best to everyone out there.
Thanks.
All right, there he is. Mike
Talk to
Herron,
you soon.
Absegami High School standout, Naval Academy midshipman, who played in the game. We love having him on the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline.